on the industrial side of the South Ukraine nuclear power plant in the southern Mykolaiv region, but all 3 power units are operating normally. Please subscribe for more information. Nuclear operator Energodom said on Monday. A powerful explosion occurred just 300 meters (984 feet) from the reactors, and the shock wave damaged the power plant buildings, Energodom said in a statement. The attack shut down one of the hydropower units of the Alexandrivska hydroelectric power station, which is part of the South Ukrainian power complex, according to Energodom. 3 high-voltage power lines were down as well. Some background. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said last week that large swathes of eastern Ukraine, including the Kharkiv and Donetsk regions, were without electricity, following deliberate and cynical missile strikes from Moscow. Liberation has finally come to Ukraine's Kharkiv. But scars of Russia's brutal occupation remain. There is little respite in victory for Ukrainian forces in the recently liberated Kupiansk. Russian shells still hit its pockmarked streets, marring the skyline with plumes of black smoke. Intense damage is visible on nearly every building. A huge billboard with an image of a waving Russian flag stands next to the bridge that crosses the Oskol River in the city center, bearing the words, "We are one people with Russia for now." The Ukrainian army has chased Russian forces over the bridge and appears to be building some momentum, pushing across the eastern banks of the river towards Luhansk, a key separatist territory controlled by Moscow. CNN witnessed Ukrainian infantry returning from the eastern side on foot. Yet inside the city, one of several in the eastern region of Kharkiv that have been liberated, are the telltale signs of a hellish occupation. A former police building was used as a vast detention center by the Russians, where at one point up to 400 prisoners were held in its cramped and dark cells, with 8 or 9 prisoners per room, Ukrainian authorities told CNN. A brightly painted mural of a Russian soldier with a Z on his armband standing next to an elderly woman waving the flag of the former Soviet Empire is still visible on one wall. As authorities continue investigating and clearing liberated towns in the Kharkiv region, they're finding more and more evidence of detention centers and cells used for torture. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Saturday that more than 10 torture rooms used by occupying forces have so far been found in the area. As the occupiers fled, they also dropped the torture devices, he said. Has reached out to the Russian government for comment but has not received a response. Kupiansk might be recently liberated, but the city is a ghost town, punctuated by destruction and debris. Very few locals that remain huddle in its empty husk. Read more. Russian pop star condemns illusory aims of Putin's Ukraine war. Russian singer Alla Pugacheva, during a casting session for the Factor A music